This is the video. This is a gentleman named Hunter Marvin. Now, Hunter is apparently somebody that served in the military. And that's what he says inside of this video. But it's weird because usually the military has kind of a certain look on things. They have a certain aspect, and they feel a certain way. Now, that's not saying that all of them are Republicans or all of them are Democrats, but they usually feel a certain type of way. And the reason why I mention the military thing is because I've never, as many years as I spent in the military, 10 years, I can tell you that I've never really dealt with anybody that was super sensitive like this individual. So I'm just going to play this clip, and then I'm going to pause it and play it, and then I'm going to go over what he's saying. But keep in mind, when you start watching this video, you're going to feel a certain type of way. Don't worry, you're not alone. Let me just play it. Let us begin.
Running them out of Texas. It is hilarious.
So you heard. Now this has got nothing to do with him, the individual saying running them out of Texas. This is hilarious. I don't know if she's a Trump supporter or Biden supporter, but let's just roll with it.
I'm about to run out of gas, which I'm sure some of you would love. Shit, look at that. Oh my God.
So this is what happens in Austin, Texas. A MAGA blockade meets a Biden tour bus, campaign bus. Pretty much ambushes them on the highway, blocks off traffic to try to run them out of town. They end up canceling the appearance or whatever because they didn't want no trouble. The MAGA clowns were heavily armed. They outnumbered the cops 50-1.
All right, let me pause it right there. The MAGA clowns. Okay, first off, whether they outnumber the cops or not, kind of sounds very, very similar to the protests. The protests of people throwing shit through windows and breaking things is very similar to what he's saying. But this, well, we'll just keep it going.
This is America. We've had 12 years of experiencing this bigot renaissance. It started when Obama was in office, started the bubble. We started to see a change, the outrage. How dare a black man be in office? At the end of his 8 years, Trump shows up, really gets behind this birther issue, and that really started it. It's always been there, but it was taboo to be them, so they suppressed it. But under Trump, they've been given a green light. They have an ally, and we see it every day, more and more, with the Karen videos and all that.
First off, Karens are not typically Republicans. Karens are typically Democrats. So we're just gonna put that right there on the record. You don't. Okay, right. All right.
So this is my problem with us. When we sit up here, we say,
Biden ain't no different from Trump. He the same person.
What the fuck? You don't see what the hell is going on? We are literally going back to the 60s, where these motherfuckers feel like they are in power to intimidate.
Okay, I got to comment on this. We're going back to the 60s. You're going to compare a bus that is surrounded by people that are in competition, okay, Biden versus Trump, it's a competition, okay, with what happened in the 60s. Really? It's not like they're shooting at the bus. It's not like they're telling people to get to the back of the bus. You can't compare this situation to what happened in the 60s. You can't. And when you're saying those people, let me just go back because I really
fuckers feel like they are in power to intimidate.
They are in power to intimidate. They didn't we get shit, the white people, for saying they? Or remember we used to hear the jokes of who's they, what are they? So it was a matter of separating black versus white, right? So his argument is Republican is they, or Trump supporters are they, and they're intimidating. Everybody intimidates. That's just the way, that's life. That especially this individual being in the military should all know about intimidation. In basic training or boot camp, whatever he went through, it's a matter of intimidation. That is how it works. That's your drill sergeant or drill instructor, again, branch of service, intimidates you to get things done. They're intimidating them. They're not stopping the Biden truck from pulling over, but it looks scary to them. So they say, uh-oh, I'm going to go away. Why would it be any different if it was a Trump bus, which it wouldn't be because Trump is a president and he's not going to drive around in a bus. But if it was, and it was Biden people, bad money, Trump would come out. Of course, you could use the argument that he would be protected, but that's not okay. So what? They're being followed by a bunch of Trump people. I think it's funny. Let's continue.
Literally, it's happening before our very eyes.
No,
we
it's
have cell phone video everywhere. Yet some of you motherfuckers have dug in your heels. Biden ain't no different from Trump. They the same person. They are not. And let me make this clear. Fuck Biden and fuck Harris. I'm not impressed with either one of them. But Trump gotta go because he is the orchestrator.
Let me stop you right there. Trump got to go. Trump. I'm not going to disagree with that at all. But while I am going to disagree with some of that, Trump got to go. Trump got to go for who? It's the only options right now are Trump or Biden. Those are your only two options. Like there is no other option that you could say you got the Reform Party, the Green Party, the Boston Tea Party. You could say the Party Fair. You could say you have all of that, but it doesn't matter. That does not matter because you have one of the two. It's just like Hillary with Trump. Again, I'm not saying I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a supporter who supports America, and that would be Donald Trump because he's the president. He's the captain of the ship. I don't want him to go down after his 8 years if he gets elected, which I hope he does, especially over this Biden situation. I'm okay.
Of this shit. We have to stop the bleeding. How do you not see the road we're going down? And then half of you ain't ready for no civil war. You will say you are. Shut your dumb ass up with your freaking 4 to 5 guns and 12 boxes of ammo. You ain't finna do shit. You don't have no alternative sources of power. You don't know what the fuck you gonna do to fucking cook. You don't know how to.
I'm gonna interrupt this guy and say that he's probably from where I'm from, which is like the Northeast, where we have no guns. So I would assume that in a civil war situation, someone with 4 or 5 guns is going to do a whole lot better with somebody with like an asp and pepper spray. So I don't know where cooking came into this, but all right.
Now if the grid go down, you don't know how to do shit but talk shit. You ain't ready. And some of you don't even know how you sound. If every single time somebody brings up a criticism of Trump and the first thing your black ass do is bring up, well, what about Biden? You sound like them. That's how you sound. That's how I fucking hear it, and that's how it registers in my fucking brain. You sound like them. What team you on? Who paid you, nigga?
Who paid you, nigga? What? What?
In some strange times. We have to stop the bleeding. Regardless of what the fuck you think about Biden and what he did with the crime bill and blah, 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 blah. Nobody wants to listen to the fact that this is in the mid-90s. Crack was completely destroyed.
Now, what he's doing, he's going to justify. And there is some valid points he brings up. Again, this is me playing both sides. There are some valid points he's going to bring up about the criminal reform bill. It's almost over.
In the fucking nation.
But he's justifying it. I don't want to cut off what he's saying. Hold on.
Completely destroying the fucking nation. They came up with a crime bill that ended up being horrible. At the time, though, they didn't know what the fuck to do. And Biden ain't do it by itself. Everybody, Congressional Black Caucus, everybody had to sign off on it. The nation.
Why does he have to keep saying black? Why? Why do you keep saying Black Congress? Like, or with your black ass, like, why do you keep using that?
Had to sign off on it because people were fucking scared. Some shit has been awakened in America that Biden ain't gonna be able to put that shit back in the bottle anyway. but it can't get no worse. It won't be allowed to get worse under him. These people need to be tamed. Who the fuck do they think they are? And evidently the cops don't have the balls. How the fuck can armed people? This is America. I was in the military 20 years. I've been fucking places where the economy has collapsed and you have genocide, and you have all these fucking things. This type of shit ain't supposed to happen here.
I'd love to know where he served in the military where he saw genocide. I would love to know the country where he was at with genocide. Please. I would love to know. I would love to know.
Armed people in vehicles harassing people on a...
Sounds a lot like the protest, though, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So how does it feel that the roles have flipped? How does it feel right now? It's just the difference is we're not going through store windows and stealing shit and I'm not even specifying towards black people, Hispanics, or white people. I'm just saying in general, because we don't know who's in those trucks, right? It could be all different races and nationalities. But what's the difference? The difference is this shows, as he said in the beginning, intimidation. There's no acting. They're not doing anything. They're not hurting anybody. Are they intimidating? Sure. I'll give them that. But I don't see any harm in this. They're not breaking any law. What law are they breaking? Moving forward.
On a federal freeway? And they're not taking the fuck down every freaking...
You almost said protesters.
Advancement that has been made for you and yours is going to be tested, marginalized, or completely eradicated if this type of attitude is allowed to flourish. That's why I go so hard about it. You say, I come here to laugh. You say what the fuck you want to say. If you ain't willing to allow me to have a human fucking reaction to some shit, get the fuck off my goddamn page.
I can agree with that.
Fuck who this makes mad. We are dealing with some serious shit.
I'm gonna tell you right now, just watching this, I can tell you he's mad. I mean, I'm not mad. I'm just saying he looks mad. He sounds mad.
Pull your heads out your asses and address what the fuck is happening right now. One problem at a time. It's bad now, yes, but you ain't seen shit if you let this shit keep happening.
See, what I don't understand about this is, so the idea is that, okay, you see these cars on the road and automatically it is a negative thing, right? How many times, I'm not gonna lie to you, I like it when I see that. Because first off, I don't support Biden in any sense of the means. Like the problem I have is him sniffing the kids. Like that's really where I start to have a problem. But then if we get into policies, I can't see anything good that this guy has done, like what Trump says, in 47 years. I can't see it. I don't see it. So I don't see it being good. So if we see, look, you've seen the images on social media, you've seen them on Facebook, where someone will, if you show up to a Trump rally, right? Let me hit you with some shit. You show up to a Trump rally wearing a Biden t-shirt and a Biden flag. We're talking, be honest here. Do you see that person getting beat up? Or have you seen more videos of people wearing a MAGA hat or a red hat? I could link you right now 5 videos. And I'm sure you may do the same for what I'm saying, but I feel like it would be less confrontational, right, on a physical standpoint of you wearing a blue Biden hat, Biden Harris, than it would be you go into that wearing a red hat. I don't think it's smart. I don't know why you're there, but I feel that there'd be more confrontation wearing a Trump hat, walking down the street. We've seen it. We've seen it where that girl got beat up on the side of the road for wearing a red hat. But look, you don't give me the argument with the protests because we're not talking about that. But if you're saying that what you see there is unacceptable, I'm going to tell you what I saw. Not about rallies, not about that. I'm talking about riots where they were breaking glass. That to me is unacceptable. And when you're saying that they had guns, there were people at CHOP with guns, and those businesses were threatened, and everybody wanted that to thrive. Like they wanted that, and they still continue to do it in certain states, in certain places, and that's acceptable. It's not acceptable because you're in America. I get it. freedom of speech. I understand it, but you shouldn't be taking over a whole street or a town. So I see what I see there a whole lot less than what I saw 5 months ago with the protests and the riots. Not so much rallies. Rallies, they are what they are, right? There's going to be stuff from both sides, whether it's right wing or left wing. I'm not going to disagree with that. I just think it's quite ironic that he's more stressed out about Biden and Harris not campaigning in Texas. Listen, you're going to a state where you can carry a friggin' rifle down the road. Like that's the way that it is in Texas. What did you think was going to happen? You're driving around a billboard where primarily Texas, if you look at the polls from when he won, I think was his number one state, right? Texas was number one with the electoral votes. He won. So that state is essentially his, for lack of better terms. What did you expect was going to happen? It's what I to me, it's common sense. Don't drive my big ass bus billboard through a state where no one likes me. I'm just not going to do it. It's like me going into a vegan restaurant and putting filet mignons in front of everybody. Nobody wants to eat that, and don't do it. You might get punched in the face. It's repercussions. You have a cause and you have an effect, right? This is the cause is trying to run for president in the United States and going through Texas, and the effect is lots of Trump flags with a bunch of 4x4s following you around. I can't see how he's upset about that. And I do not see how you compare that to the 60s. The 60s, really? Wow. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Good. So I just wanted to share that with everybody.